Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the graduation ceremony at the University of Adelaide. This morning's ceremony is for graduates from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. The ceremony will commence very shortly. The University has a contract photographer to provide photographic services during the ceremony. If you wish to take photos of the ceremony, I would ask you to do so discreetly and from your seat. And please do not use flash. To maintain the ceremony's decorum, may I please ask you to turn off your mobile phone. For safety reasons, I would ask guests not to enter the galleries upstairs, and please do not sit on the steps in the balcony area. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the academic procession which is about to enter the hall. And please remain standing for the national anthem. You are encouraged to join in the singing. The text of the anthem is printed on page 11 of your graduation program. Please rise for the academic procession.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strength then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this very special day at the University of Adelaide. I, Diane Davidson, the Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, declare open this congregation, convened for the purpose of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, relatives, friends, supporters, and especially the graduates, welcome to this graduation ceremony. I wish to acknowledge the Kaurna people the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains and the land on which the University of Adelaide's campuses are built, both here at North Terrace, as well as at the Waite, Theberton and Roseworthy. Graduates, your graduation is an event which you will remember forever, I hope. And on such a beautiful day in such a beautiful place, the imprint will be well made. It's an event in which you can take pride, and the fact that you have achieved so much over the years is of significance to all of us. And it's a source of pride and satisfaction for the University of Adelaide. Today, amongst all the excitement and the celebration, is also an opportunity for you to reflect on the work that you've done here and the friendships and the networks that you have made. Today may signal a very significant change in the direction of your life, and whatever the direction may be in the end, you will be able to reflect on this time at the University of Adelaide as one which set your course. So congratulations to you all, and I now call on Professor Jenny Shaw, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, to present the candidate for an honorary doctorate degree.
Deputy Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you Mr. Paul Morris Kelly. The degree of Doctor of Arts, honoris causa, is being awarded to Paul Kelly to acknowledge his exceptionally distinguished service to society and to recognise his service not just to Australian music, but also to creative writing, his significant collaborations with Indigenous Australian musicians and filmmakers, and his significant community service through nationally profiled benefits and fundraising concerts. Paul Kelly was born on the 13th of January 1955, the sixth of 9 children, and raised in Adelaide, where he attended Rostrevor College and was dux of his graduating year. His father, John Kelly, a lawyer practising in Adelaide with the family firm, Kelly & Co Lawyers, died of Parkinson's disease when Paul was 13 years old. His mother, Josephine, was the daughter of the internationally renowned Argentinian baritone Count Ercole Filippini, a leading soloist with La Scala Opera Company, and his Australian opera singer wife, Anne McFarland, who was also known as Australia's first female symphony orchestra conductor. The Filippinis were founders of the Italo-Australian Opera Company, well known in Australia in the 1920s. From this colourful classical music pedigree, Paul Kelly himself has emerged as one of Australia's most gifted and celebrated contemporary singer-songwriters. Internationally renowned for his song compositions, creative writing and recorded music performances over a 30-year period, he is regarded by his fellow international music industry professionals as without peer in Australia. Mr. Kelly has won 8 Australian Recording Industry Association or ARIA awards, and in 1997 was inducted into the ARIA Hall of Fame. He holds 3 Australasian Performing Rights Association or APRA awards. He holds 6 awards from the Country Music Association of Australia and 4 Australian Music Entertainment Industry or MO awards. His songs To Her Door and Treaty with Yothu Yindi have been named in the top 30 best Australian songs of all time. In addition, he was a Victorian State finalist for the 2012 Australian of the Year award. Aside from Treaty, Kelly has written and co-written several songs on Indigenous Australian social issues and historical events. His curriculum of 19 commercially released studio albums, released nationally and internationally, is impressive. During the 2000s, Mr. Kelly was commissioned to compose for film and television scores and soundtracks, including the films Lantana, Silent Partner, One Night the Moon, Fireflies and Jindabyne. These works have resulted in 5 award wins: ARIA Best Original Soundtrack for Lantana, the Australian Film Institute Open Craft Award, Best Music Score from the Film Critics Circle of Australia and Screen Music Award Best Soundtrack Album for One Night the Moon, and the Valladolid International Film Festival's Best Music Award for Jindabyne. Mr. Paul Kelly contributed to the national magazine The Monthly from 2009 to 2010. His memoir, How to Make Gravy, published by Penguin Books Australia in 2010, was shortlisted for the Prime Minister's Literary Award in the non-fiction category in 2011 and was the 2011 co-winner of Biography of the Year at the Australian Book Industry Awards. Kelly's fiction publications include his first and second anthologies of lyrics, and the 2004 edition of his second anthology of lyrics, Don't Start Me Talking, was added to the Victorian Certificate of Education Year 12 reading list in 2006. In February 2009, together with Canadian singer-songwriter Leonard Cohen, Kelly donated $200,000 to the Victorian bushfire appeal in support of those affected by the Black Saturday bushfires. Additionally, Mr Kelly performed at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in March 2009 for Sound Relief, a concert in support of victims of the bushfires. All proceeds from the Melbourne concert went to the Red Cross Victorian Bushfire Relief. In June 2005, Kelly put together Timor-Leste Freedom Rising, a collaboration of Australian artists donating new recordings and unreleased tracks to raise money for environmental, health and education projects in East Timor. Funds raised from the album went to Life, Love and Health and the Alola Foundation. On the 8th of October 2006, Paul, with other prominent Australian musicians, performed in Melbourne to raise further funds for Life, Love and Health and to help support ongoing programs in East Timor. Kelly's collaboration with leading Indigenous artists, most significantly with Yoti Yindi on Treaty and Kev Carmody on From Little Things Big Things Grow, have resulted in internationally famous songs that, while themselves anthems for Indigenous rights, have been used in many other contexts. Other collaborations have resulted in international recognition for his film scores, and it should be noted that in addition to writing the music for Indigenous filmmaker Rachel Perkins' award-winning feature film One Night the Moon in 2001, which was shot in the Flinders Ranges, Kelly also featured in the role of the farmer in the film. In 2010, From Little Things Big Things Grow was added to the National Film and Sound Archive's Sounds of Australia registry. Aside from these awards and documented public and critical success, Paul was the subject of a 2010 tribute concert marking his 30th anniversary as a solo artist and celebrating his contribution to Australian music. A documentary film, Paul Kelly's Stories of Me, directed by Ian Darling, was released in 2012 and won the Film Critics Circle Award in 2012 for Best Documentary and the Australian Screen Editors Guild Award in 2013 for Best Documentary Editing. The film was part of the official selection at both the Canberra and Melbourne International Film Festivals in 2012. Paul Kelly has made a significant contribution to contemporary Australian music and more generally to contemporary Australian culture. His large and diverse catalogue of songs clearly shows an engagement with contemporary issues over a number of decades. He has been described as a rare poetic voice in contemporary Australian music. Deputy Chancellor, an artist of Mr Kelly's achievements and standing is clearly worthy of the award of an honorary degree from the University of Adelaide. I'm very pleased and proud to present to you, Deputy Chancellor, for admission to the degree of Doctor of Arts, honoris causa, Mr Paul Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me great pleasure to present today's orator, Mr Paul Kelly.
Deputy Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of staff, graduates and your families. Firstly, I'd like to thank the University of Adelaide for inviting me here today and bestowing such an honour. It's an honour I'm delighted to accept because this place is where my grandfather Frank, my father John and my elder sister Anne all obtained degrees in the last century. My grandfather's was 1906. Secondly, I would like to congratulate you, the graduates, for your hard work and dedication in recent years. It's a great achievement and one I hope you are as proud of as your families are. I'm sure that you're all aware, however, that today is more a beginning than an end. Studying never stops. I've been writing songs and playing music for 40 years now, and the more I know about it, the more I realise how little I know. The further I go in, the deeper it gets. If I think of music as a big forest, I'm only a little way inside the trees. If I think of it as a mountain range, I'm still toiling in the foothills. I've had many teachers along the way. Most of them wouldn't be aware that they were teachers, but I studied them anyway. Many I never met. I learned from the living, I learned from the dead. I learned from those I sought out and those who crossed my path. My father studied the classics, and strangely, although I suppose unsurprisingly, I find myself 50 years after his death taking Greek lessons and reading ancient history. I'm afraid I don't have much advice for you. Life's a blessing, life's a wreck. I wouldn't expect your plans always to pan out the way you imagine, or any progress you make to move in straight lines. Most probably, what will change you the most is what you don't see coming. I hope you always stay curious, that you're often challenged, and that you find plenty of work that you love. I hope you often find time to play and that you don't work too hard or too long. I hope you can keep your mind on the mountains, even when you're in the thick of the deep, dark woods. And finally, to quote one of my teachers, may your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. Thank you, all the best.
On behalf of the graduates and their families attending today's ceremony, I would like to thank Mr. Paul Kelly for his stimulating and inspiring address. We are honoured that you have taken the time to join us on this special day to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we can. Please join me in once again thanking Mr. Paul Kelly.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call on the Vice-Chancellor.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor Warren Bebbington, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole University that the graduates who will be presented to you have all fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission to the awards for which they are so presented.
I, Diane Davidson, Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the University, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented. I call on the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Jenny Shaw, to present the graduates from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor Jenny Shaw, present to you graduates from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. To the Diploma in Languages, Ellen Louise Griffiths. To the degree of Bachelor of Social Sciences, Hannah Ellen Gillard. Hannah Elizabeth Knight. Laura Rose Malcolm. Emily K. Menensdorf. Stephen Pashiris, and Stephen also receives the Bachelor of Health Sciences. And Yich Ching Dorothy Tang. To the degree of Bachelor of Media, Emily May Louise Angwin. Hudson Gilfillan Archer. Andrea Frances Beaumont. Elise Amy Bell. Betty Eleanor Bradfield. Olivia Rachel Brazali. Chen Xue. Rosemary Amelia Coleman. Lucy Elizabeth Damon. Brittany Chantel Denton. Dong Jiwei. Kate Elizabeth Drinkwater. Ella Kiri Fetzer-Duffy. Lachlan Ray Edges. Stasi Andreas Evdokyo, and Stasi also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Daniel Patrick Fitzgerald, and Daniel also receives the Bachelor of International Studies. Ethna Johnston. Hermela Betty Kebede, and Hermela also receives the Bachelor of International Studies. Melissa Jane Pudney. Lucy Hannah Russell, and Lucy also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Amy Louise Sincock. Xin Liu. Chun Haiyun. And Haiyun also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Alexis Teal, and Alexis also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Rebecca Lynn Thompson, and Rebecca also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Clayton David Trevor. James Allen Westerby, and James also receives the Bachelor of Arts. And Samara Robin Young, and Samara also receives the Bachelor of Arts. To the degree of Bachelor of International Studies, Clara Emily Bartlett. Louis John Broderick. Joseph John Dunn. Eleftherios Reis Halakas. Lawrence Thomas Robert Heath. Elise Brooke Johnson. Ryan Harry Kay. Joanna Kiri. Joanna Elizabeth Lodge, and Joanna also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Louise Ranford Macrina, and Louise also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Madeline Emma Mitchell, and Madeline also receives the Diploma in Languages. Jessica Imelda Molsha Jones, and Jessica also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Nola Sharon Mohammed Zulkifri. Ruby Obhosda Westley. Samantha Sky Smith. Tan Tien Wei Terrence. Sui Chen Ryan. Hannah Charlotte Twine, and Hannah also receives the Bachelor of Arts. Emma Louise Yates. To the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Policy and Management, Luke Daniel Ashworth. Li Lingye. Ma Yiming. Mark Darren Waters. And Renee Michelle Whitington. To the degree of Bachelor of Development Studies, Catherine Grace Clayton. Georgia Elizabeth Crow. Eliza Mary Damasi. Annabelle Lara Redmond. And Simon Jok Ajok Jok. To the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Sarah Michelle Argus, and Sarah also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. Alexandra Patrick Balderstone. Anthea Mary Beck. Alana Brooke. Fleur Sophie Brown Beebe. Shanae Marie Burnett Raby. Laurie Jean Caruso, and Laurie also receives the Diploma in Languages. Emily Elizabeth Clark. Alexander Peter Dakinovitz, and Alexander also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. Olivia Mari Di Fabio. Amy Suzanne Dollard. Lauren Peter Edwards, and Lauren also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. Pia Margareta Garbo. James Ulysses Gaffey. Konstantinos Glikos. Liam Charles Goodfellow, and Liam also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. Annette Gay Golden. Emily Rose Harris. Matt Higgins. Blanche Ambrose Horgan, and Blanche also receives the Diploma in Languages. Henry David House. Lila Daisy Keane Sinclair. Koyani Davita. Lao Yalin. William Stewart Maitland, and William also receives the Diploma in Languages. Grace Victoria Marriott. Grace Ann McGinley. James Hugh Street Metz. Regan Wade Mobbs. Karina Jane Nelson, and Karina also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. Bethany Rose Nolan, and Bethany also receives the Diploma in Languages. Hannah Genevieve Victoria Novak. Sophie Catherine Otis. Honor Jane Panek, and Honor also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. Malsha Sherry Pereira. Carolyn Jane Pine. Laura Jane Robinson. Georgia Susan Stoll. Bradley David Tonkin. Mary Bridget Turble. Sean William Whiteman. Wu Tianqing, and Tianqing also receives the Bachelor of Teaching. And Tu Yiqian. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Arts, and our mace bearer, John Wayne Pearson. And Mary Grace Quigley. To the Graduate Diploma in Art History, Byron Charles Grant Priest. To the degree of Master of Environmental Policy and Management, Jiao Fei. And Kim Ta-hyun. To the degree of Master of Arts Studies in Art History, Mary Edith Baker. Annette Elizabeth Owen. Perry Ann Snodgrass. and Lucy Bell Kelly Tesorero. To the degree of Master of Arts, International Studies, Douglas John Mayfield. And Mercedes Lana Page, and Mercedes also receives the Graduate Diploma in International Studies. To the degree of Master of Arts, Food Studies, Wong Chen Li. To the degree of Master of Arts, Applied Linguistics, Jerion Adavidya. Xiang Lo. Linda Gay Weston. Yi Wong Suk. And Amin Zagarian. To the degree of Master of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Discourses of Film Terrorism, Hollywood Representations of Arab Terrorism and Counter-Terrorism, 1991 to 2011, J. William Reed. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled The Kingdom of Württemberg and the Making of Germany, 1815 to 1871, Bodhi Alexander Ashton. For a thesis entitled Ephemeron, Volume 1 Creative Works, Volume 2 Exegesis, Emma Carmody. For a thesis entitled The Role of Soccer in the Adjustment of Immigrants to Australia, a South Australian Case Study 1947 to 2013, Justin Peter Savitilo. For a thesis entitled The Writer as Mapmaker, Volume 1 The Journeyman Years, Volume 2 Mapping a Postmodern World, Benjamin Alexander Crisp. For a thesis entitled Histoires of Art and the Commodity, Love, Death and the Search for Community in William Gaddis and Jean-Luc Godard, Damien Gareth Marwood. For a thesis entitled Online Communication Satisfaction in Using an Internet-Based Information Management System among Employees at 4 Research Universities in Malaysia, Maud Azul Mohammed Saleh. For a thesis entitled An Analysis of the Underlying Factors that Affected Malaysia-Singapore Relations During the Mahathir Era, Rusdi Omar. For a thesis entitled Treason, Passion and Power in England, 1660 to 1685, Elsa Marie Reuter. For a thesis entitled Constructing Time, Temporal Experience and Its Future-Directed Aspects, Diane Rose Stringer. For a thesis entitled The Transformation of Expatriates Through Turning to the Foreign, Volume 1, the memoir Bound, An Expatriate's Journey to China and Beyond, and Volume 2, The Exegesis, Xenotropism and the Awakenings of Literary Expatriatism Through Writing Memoir, Christine Robin Velder. For a thesis entitled Looking Out for the Aussie Bloke, Gender, Class and Contextualising the Hegemony of Working Class Masculinities in Australia, Kirsty Louise Whitman. For a thesis entitled The Murdering Twin Maker, Sean Llewellyn Williams. And for a thesis entitled Asylum Seekers and Australian Politics, 1996 to 2007, Bet Diane Wright.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Associate Professor Carl Crossan, present to you graduates from the Elder Conservatorium of Music. To the degree of Bachelor of Music Studies, Livio Camine Forza. Catherine Ann Lambert. Sebastian Phlox. And Imogen Jane McDougall Telfer. To the degree of Bachelor of Music, Wade Leslie Nixon. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Music, Classical Performance, Rachel Alexandra Downey. And Christopher James Neal. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled Orchestral Conductor Training and Evaluative Survey of Current International Practice at the Tertiary Level, Luke William Dolman. And for a thesis entitled Fanny Hensel and Clara Schumann, a study through performance of their selected piano works, Sok Siang Tia. To the Diploma in Aboriginal Studies in Music, Cassie Lauren Bell, Loreen. Keelan Davidson. Eleanor Lang. Nathan Samuel Philip May. And Zachary James Wannon Raymond. To the Advanced Diploma in Aboriginal Studies in Music, Nicholas Charles Hayne. Nicholas also receives the Diploma in Aboriginal Studies in Music.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Dr. Jan Keatley, present to you graduates from the School of Education. To the Graduate Diploma in Education Studies, Beth Diana Mayfield. To the Graduate Diploma in Education, Amy Elise Snell Wakefield. To the degree of Master of Education, Phu Toi Jun. Mohammed Hazmi bin Hasni. Aida Madiana bint Kinam. Dorothy Melania Mubwika. Anjanita Olive Oorthazen. Carolina Paz Bernstein Bengoa. June Lee. And Shu Ting Lee. To to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled An Investigation into Difference Between Out-of-Field and In-Field History Teachers' Influence on Students' Learning Experiences in Malaysian Secondary Schools, Umi Kausum Murd Saleh. For a thesis entitled Examining the Relationship Between Moral Reasoning, Cognitive Reasoning and Learning Preferences of High School Students in Selected South Australian Schools, Sasikala Sivakumar. And for a thesis entitled Perspectives of Primary School Children of Filipino Immigrants on their home and school experiences in South Australia, Marizon Guillermo Yu.
Well, it now gives me great pleasure to congratulate all of you together instead of individually. Well done. Well done. I would have liked to have had a conversation with all of you, but we don't have the time. But all of you, do be proud of what you've worked to achieve. Be very proud. Know yourselves well. And remember all of those people who've supported you along the way to reach this point. I do wish you every success as you enter the next exciting phase of your lives. As graduates of the University of Adelaide, you are also its alumni and its ambassadors. And over the years since the university was established, 140 years ago this year, its alumni have made an enormous contribution to the university community, both here and throughout the world. And today you join this community of over 150,000 people, located in more than 80 countries around the globe. So the university, of course, is very proud of that achievement as well. Particularly like to thank our mace bearer and congratulate him again on his achievements, and everybody who assisted in the organisation and running of today's ceremony. I will be making a small change and getting a hat that fits for this afternoon. Other than that, I do ask all of the graduates now to remain seated, and I invite everyone else here today to stand and join in one more round of applause and congratulations. Will the audience now be seated, please, and the graduates stand to join the recession. Thank you.